everyone. We are so happy to have Erin today. So I'm gonna just hand it to Erin to briefly to introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Erin Borgman. I am also known as Keto Nana Erin B. Um, I am 58 years old, soon to be 59 in a couple of weeks. I am postmenopausal. I have been on my keto carnivore journey since 2017. I lost 140 pounds doing keto, dabbled in carnivore here and there, um, but it didn't go strict carnivore until February of 17th of 2025. So it's been a little over 2 months. Um, and as a postmenopausal woman, I can tell you lots of wonderful things have happened as far as my hormonal changes. I was on HRT, hormonal replacement therapy. Um, and I have been able to wean down quite a bit on that in just the 60 days because my body is actually starting to um, regenerate some of my estrogen and progesterone and testosterone even. So I keep really close eye on my numbers, and you know, I am a data person. I love data. I like to keep track of everything that I do and say and, eat. And so when I went strict carnivore in February, it happened to be on my first husband's birthday. It would have been his 59th birthday. He had passed away a couple of years ago due to complications from type 2 diabetes. He had to have one of his legs amputated, and we had been divorced for many, many years, but we were always good friends. And basically in honor of him, I thought this is where I need to go. And so I started in on a strict carnivore, and the differences that I have seen not only in my hormones but in my brain function and my mental stability. I've always been a control freak. I needed to have complete control. I helped raise 7 children, not all mine, but definitely two of my older sisters, two of my younger sisters, and three of my own. And I had to have a lot of control with that herd. And it's really hard to give up that control. And so when once I went carnivore, I was able to release a lot of that tension, a lot of that stress, that emotional baggage that comes with trying to control every aspect of your entire life and let God take care of it. And so wow, in this last 2.5 months has just been phenomenal.
Wow, I already can cry for that. I mean, there is so much story behind that. I'm Asians, as you know, all the mothers, and I'm good with my mom, but we all know how much control she wants, and but sometimes you just cannot imagine. It all depends on our food. What food can really fuel that? And I have so much anxiety when I was in keto too, and because I didn't have enough fat. And once that fat really, I'm just calmer. I'm much relaxed. I'm still focused on and uh, more prepared for what I my coming work, but it wasn't like anxiety. So there is so much relate to that. So
Yes.
I'm so glad to hear more of your story. But that's I have several more questions for you.
Okay.
So how in this 60 days, how much things outside of the carnivore food, which is animal foods, do you adding already seeing these results?
I don't add anything other than black coffee. I do add a little bit of Soleil into it, so a little bit of salt water in that. Other than that, it's 100% carnivore. I just discovered last week that I have an egg intolerance, and so that is not, that's not very nice because a lot of my recipes that I make involve eggs. And so I'm going to have to tweak it, but I'm not stressed about it. I'm just fine with that. And we will go on. I'm going to give myself a good 30 days with no eggs whatsoever. Even egg yolks, unfortunately, I have, you know, issues with. So I'm going to give myself, my body 30 days and then try it back again slowly. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. I'll give it another 30 days and progress from there.
Yeah, I have this exactly same egg intolerance, and I can huge difference to notice. I finally be able to trust my hunger signal. But what do you see on your end? What do you feel? Oh, I finally cut off that. Why it's what's the difference you feel?
Well, I don't have the so what the intolerance level for me is I get very bloated, I get very gassy, a lot of IBS. And so when I cut them out instantly within 24 hours, that those issues were completely gone. And so I have to, I did a lot of research on it and discovered that, you know, you need to abstain for a while, let your body heal some more. I know my body, even though I was keto and very strict keto for 7 years, I still have healing to do. And by going carnivore, is the ultimate healing. It is the ultimate elimination of all plant matter, and wow, has that made a huge difference in all of my other issues. You know, I would come out with some rashes and some bumps, and I don't have that anymore. My skin is so nice and clear. Uh, yeah, it's just so I know I still have work to do. But I am on a health journey, not a weight journey. So much. Now I did last May. My wonderful husband surprised me for my birthday and took me on a cruise through the Caribbean. And on that cruise, I dabbled a little bit in some starches, so some potatoes and a little bit of rice, and I instantly gained 40 pounds. I mean, in less than 6 months, 40 pounds. Yes. So it's like, oh my gosh, this is not acceptable. So after 7 years of strict keto, bam. So it's like, okay, no, that's not going to happen again. So I had to really clean that up, and then decided I completely skipped carnivore January and started in February. But I'm not going to look back. We just purchased 4 pigs that we will butcher this fall. We buy a half a cow every year. We have our own chickens and eggs. Unfortunately, right now, not the eggs for me, but my husband enjoys them. And you know, why go anywhere else? I don't need anything else.
I feel I have so much to talk about with you. Wow.
We
So
do. I've got a big story, but it's okay. For now, we'll just start small.
40 pounds, even though gaining 14 pounds. That's already makes me like, oh my, you know?
In 6 months.
Yeah,
Just
it's
six
six
months.
months. And what you eat only just the pure like potatoes and rice, no processed
Yeah.
food.
No, nothing. I have celiac disease, so I can't have anything that has any grains in it whatsoever. And I did try the rice, which of course is a grain, not nice to me. But I was trying rice noodles and that kind of thing. No, not for Erin.
So once you start carnivore, is that the point that you decide to go full carnivore?
Absolute. So I am an all in kind of gal. When you could, they say jump off the deep end. Before I jump into that pool, I know how big it is. I know what the temperature of the water is, how deep it is, how much gallons are in there. I know every aspect of it, but then I jump feet first. So I love research. I am a science geek. I love getting into the mitochondria aspect of in the cell work and everything of that. So I do a lot of research before I jump in, and I'm all in. So 100% and never going to look back. I already looked back once after 7 years and look what happened to me. So nope. Uh, yeah, fool me once, shame on me. It's not going to happen again.
Gotcha. So tell me more about in this 6 month. Have you followed any two mat or one mat, or you just follow your hunger signal?
Okay, I am not an intuitive eater because I am an overeater. I love food. And so when I got out of the military in 1988, I gained weight like there was no tomorrow. I got up to 286 pounds and maintained that 286 pounds for over 20 years. I have always had an active life. I am a commercial truck driver. I've been a commercial truck driver for well over 30 years. And I drove for UPS. So it's a very hard physical job, but I was never able to lose the weight through exercise, of course, because that's not how you lose it. You lose it by what you put in your mouth, although I was not educated. And I had not one, but two weight loss surgeries. I, and I still was able to gain right back up to that 286 mark. So almost 300 pounds. I thought I was destined to be heavy my whole life until I met um, Ken and Nisha Berry. I actually was playing around on YouTube, and they were doing a live, they had just done a video in their car at a theater, and it happened to be their very first video. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this kind of sounds interesting. So I started doing some research on that too, and that's how I got started. And it was like a light bulb went off. So, yeah.
Wow. I mean, I love container truck. I before I moved to um, United States, I had the commercial container truck driver's license, which is the top license in Taiwan, and I love it. I drove coal truck for 2 months, not telling my mom. So I know exactly how hard work it is.
Yeah.
So and you are sitting and you are bouncing. It's hard on your back, and you know it's really hard. I'm so glad that you found the way and healthy life. I cannot imagine
Mhm.
how you looks like. You're gonna send me the photos. How was you? You
I will.
describe it. Wow, that
Oh yes, I have a lot of them. So I've done construction. So that's not just sitting in a truck driving. It's rolling tarps, having to dig out the excess asphalt out of the truck bed. Drove logging trucks, so you have to secure your load and throw the bands over. I've done tankers. I've done pretty much the whole gamut.
so tell me about because that period of time I understood it might causing the damage on your lower back. How does that affect in your later healing process? Did you feel the very lower pain a lot? Tell me more about the specific part.
Well, my superpower was to gain weight. I can gain weight at the at the drop of a hat. And by being as heavy as I was and doing such hard physical work, it really strengthened my bones. It really made my bones very strong. So I never suffered from back pains or anything like that because I was so heavy. I had to carry around that excess weight plus do all the external stuff. So I consider myself very blessed to have been able to do the work that I did at such a hefty weight. But my tissues weren't so great, and I had to I tore out my rotator cuffs. My first one was on my left shoulder, and the second and third one were in my right shoulder. And because I was lifting and carrying and hugging freight when I worked for UPS for 14 years, uh, it tore up my body really bad, my shoulders, and so I have a lot of pain in my shoulders and my neck, but not so much my back because my back and the bones in my body are really good and really strong because of that. Now that I have lost the weight, I am able to endure a lot more because I know I have good, strong bones.
Wow, so it actually has some benefits beforehand.
It does. It does have that little tiny bit, but the rest of it wasn't worth it. The pre-diabetes, the fatty liver disease, the high blood pressure, the brain fog, none of that was worth it, but the strong bones were. That's about all I could say.
I thought it actually is a cons, but actually it turns to the pros because you. That's why people say when you walk more, you give the strength to your bone, so it kind of dancing up, and so you carrying the weight and then do stuff, so you are kind of like lifting weight, sort of speak.
Constantly. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So, in the first 60 days of carnivore, have you experienced any oxalate dumping or any kind of bad, negative feelings?
Side effects? No, I was looking for it. I don't really know what oxalate dumping is, but I know what the symptoms are, and I have not experienced any of those. I've been truly blessed with that. The only side effect I had was pretty much the first 3 weeks. I had stool problems. I had a very runny stools. Uh, but after my body adjusted to the higher fat content and protein, that it's been able to level off. I have not had any type of constipation or anything. So I do because of my weight loss surgeries. So the first one I had was a lap band, and that malfunctioned, and when it did malfunction it cut off all the blood supply to my stomach and a part of my intestines. So when they went in, they had to remove a third of my small intestines and the entire stomach, and do a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass, um, basically to save my life. So it was a pretty bad malfunction. So I don't have a lot of I don't have my duodenum, which is what your body uses to absorb the minerals from your diet, iron and, you know, so my, it goes through, from my stomach pouch directly into my small intestines. There's not a whole lot of stomach acids or anything like that. So I've since that time, which in 2001 is when I had that surgery. I did always have problems with bowel issues. And now they are leveling out and becoming a lot more normal, a lot more consistent, not as erratic as they were when I was eating plant matter. So it's overall, um, it has completely changed my whole outlook on everything, because it's regulated the my body where it needs to be instead of trying to regulate it myself. Control.
Wow, wow. That's very difficult. I mean, so I heard so much people just part of their gut is not there. I just cannot imagine how that can deal with that, and it's even harder to make the decisions like big change on diets. It's huge amount of protein and fat. So the can is your gut really just takes times? Do you start with 1 gram per body weight, or how much protein you started out, and how do you tailor to now? What do you feel about your best to absorb the nutrition you need from the protein? So can you tell more about that?
Okay, so I try to keep my fat ratios about 75 to 80%, and my proteins about 25%, 25 to 20 to 25%. Um, I try to keep it where my goal is, where I want my weight to be. So I want, because I gained that 40 pounds, I'm still about 30 away from that. But so I want to try and be, let's say, 140 pounds. So I try to keep my protein somewhere around 115 grams to 120 grams, somewhere around there, just slightly less than what I want to, where I want to be. And then I fill the rest of it with fat. So of course I don't have, you don't know this, but I don't have a gallbladder. And when they took my gallbladder out, they actually had to remove part of my liver also. So that had to be regrowing. So that took a while, but that, of course, like I said, was in 2001. And over the course of the last 23 years, it's been functioning very, very well. So without a gallbladder, without a stomach, without a third of my intestines, um, my blood work and my iron levels, I have to really watch my iron levels because I don't normally absorb it. But we cook primarily in cast iron, and I am able to get from the meat that I eat, the ruminant animal, or ruminant proteins that I eat, and the cast iron. My iron levels are absolutely wonderful. I don't have to have my iron injections or iron infusions. I haven't had to have that for like 2 years now. I still have to do my own B12 injections monthly, but that's because, of course, all of this other stuff. But without a gallbladder, don't use that as an excuse. Your body, your liver will start creating bile, which will break down the fats. And I'm 100% living proof of it, because I don't have the side effects of the runny stools, or the other side effects of not, I don't have to take ox bile. I don't have to take any other supplements for my body to break down the fats and utilize it and put it into ketones, convert it into ketones.
So now I heard, so in the beginning when you just started carnivore, um, is that the protein and fat ratio is exactly the same thing, and you just let your body adapt from loose stool to normal? Is that right?
Yes, yeah.
Because
I knew to expect it. And so I fully expected it. I fully knew I was going to ride it through. So, yeah.
because for a lot of people that I know, that they always thinking it's harder to trust the process, that in the beginning when you constant lose stool, and it's just like you are losing electrolyte, you feel tired, but they just don't know when to end, and it's harder to trust. So how long does that entire process really transit, like 1 week or 2 weeks?
For me, it was closer to about 3 weeks. It wasn't quite the whole month, so I knew to expect it. I bumped up my electrolytes. I made sure that I had plenty of fluids in every single day, lots of water, sometimes some sparkling water, bubbly water, mineral water. But I knew what to expect, because of course I've done my research, and so it's like, okay, this too shall pass. This too is just a temporary, sidearm to what's coming. So
Yeah, and even in your case, and you trust the process, and you even did you take pill to let it, stop the because a lot of
nope.
people is very pill good. Wow.
Yeah, no, nope, nope. I don't like taking anything, so I much prefer to be as natural as possible. And yeah,
Me too. And those side effect of those pill, you never know what's gonna causing you later on. Like even just tiny
exactly.
bit peppers can trigger your, some things in your body. How can you think of that pill can deal with your whole body, right? So,
Exactly.
yeah, I'm a fan of no pills too, but knock on wood, we never know. What's the advice would you like to tell to the audience?
The best advice I can give someone is don't give up. Trust the process. Let your body do what it's going to do. Do some homework, do some research so that you can know what to expect, so that it's not going to come as a surprise. Um, and enjoy the experience, because the experience is going to be phenomenal. Don't think you're trapped into a I can't have this or I can't have that. It's I choose to have this, not that. I choose. This is all a choice. And you are choosing better health. You are choosing a better life. You are choosing longevity, um, and better skin and better digestion and overall better health. So know that this is a wonderful choice. Trust the process. That's so important.
Yes, ma'am. Totally agree. And I see you have the YouTube. Would you like to talk about where can people find you?
Okay, so I do have a YouTube channel. It has been a very long time since I have posted on it. When I started it was during the COVID, and I had nothing but time on my hands. And now I work somewhere between 12 and a half and 13-hour days. And so I don't have a lot of time to dedicate to that. And my son, who was helping me with that, has moved away to a different state. So, but I do have a YouTube channel. It's called Keto Nana Erin B. And it does go into a lot more of my story. I am always open for questions. I'm like I said, I'm an open book. I want to help others in their journey. I did have a support group, a local support group. I tried to start around here, but of course, then we got into lockdowns and no one was able to come. And but I'm hoping to get that up and started again within my local area. And that's on Facebook. It's called Clallam County Keto Support. Although I should change that carnivore support. Maybe I should change my name too. Because I don't think I'll ever go back to keto because I feel so much better getting that excess noise out of my brain from the plants. So, um, and other than that, I'm in a couple of support groups online. You'll see me pop up definitely on Ken Berry's uh, Facebook page and in his tribe, although I don't get to be in there very often. So, and I'll pop up here and there. So,
Thank you for joining my new podcast.
well, anytime if you'd like to do an
Yeah,
additional, I would be happy to come back on and visit with you.
absolutely, absolutely. It's nice to talking to you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.